So today, guys, I want to teach you how to play chess. So firstly, I want to tell you how the pieces move and what their name is. So firstly, and the ones that I'm telling you about, they're square and that they will be on is blue. So you can see which one I'm talking about. So firstly, we have the pawn. The pawn can move one or two squares forward. It can only choose that though for the first move. And for the after the first move, it has to move one square if it wants to, like this. This one is on the starter square. It can move two squares, as you can see. And this one is already one square advanced, so it can only move one square, which is pretty cool. And they also capture diagonally. You can see. And they capture one square diagonally. And also, and then we have the let's say the bishop. The bishop actually has a kind of a rule, maybe you could say. It can only move to the square. Like how I say it to you guys. It can only move to, for example, if it's on a white square, the next move it makes has to be on a white square. And because it moves diagonally, it can't change colors. It can't change colors, basically. You can see, however I move it, because it moves diagonally, it can't change colors. Then we have the knight, which is the opposite of the bishop, kind of. And because every move it makes, it has to change what color it's on. Like it was on a white square, now it's on a dark square. Next move I want to make, it has to be on a white square again. Now it has to be on a dark square. You can see that. And unlike the pawn, all of the other pieces capture the same way that they move. And also, I almost forgot, guys. Pawns have a special rule named en passant. It's a French word which is specified for in passing. It's like this. You can see it can move forward right now, the pawn, but it can also capture like this en passant. You can see that because the rule is like when a pawn moves two squares and and on the other side of it is another pawn, and the pawn can go en passant. We can see en passant. And also next we have the rooks. The rooks can move like this. You can see it yourself. I don't really know how to explain how they move, but they move like this, kind of opposite of the bishop as well. And they also capture the same way, right? And also, it's very good to get a rook behind the pawn, no matter if it's your pawn or the opponent's pawn, because if it's the opponent's pawn, you can capture it very easily. Unless if it's like if there's like a help of a king, then probably not. But and if it's your own pawn, specifically if it's a passed pawn. Passed pawns are when, for example, a pawn can go forward and there's no other pawns blocking its path. Only pieces can stop it. So for example, all of black's pawns are passed pawns because, for example, if white has no pawns, all of black's pawns are passed pawns. And then we have how the queen moves. It can move just like a rook and a bishop combined, like this. And it doesn't have to stay on one color. It can also change colors. It can do that. And also then we have the king. The king, I'll tell you how it moves in a second, but it has also a special rule which is called castling. it can castle. It can go towards a rook and kind of switch spots like this. Which is very cool. And you also um have to castle your king. You don't have to, but it's much better if you do, because when you castle, it makes your king so much safer than it used to be in the center. Because usually when you take control of the center, you kind of break open the center, and if your king's still there, it will not be very good for you. You might get mated, checkmated. Um, and then that's about it. And also, almost forgot. Kings move just like the queen, but only one square at a time. You can see only one square. And if pawns are blocked, and so something's in front of them, they can't move. It's just a sort of a pawn rule. Like this pawn that my king is in front of, it can't move. You might not be able to see that, but it just can't. And that's about it for how they move. So let's move on to something harder. For example, how to checkmate with a rook or a queen. For example, let me clear this. For checkmating with a queen, you have to firstly bring your king, because with just a queen you can't checkmate. It's impossible. You have to use your king for help to protect the queen. So you can, I guess the fastest way would be to kind of trap the king, but be careful. Don't go to f7, because if you move your queen over here, it will be a stalemate. Stalemate is when your opponent has no moves, or you don't have any move, but you're not in check. That's the definition of stalemate. Draw by stalemate. So, but that's off the topic right now. You have to move closer, and you can checkmate in various ways right now. If you move your queen here, it's checkmate. Here, checkmate. Here, checkmate. Here, checkmate, checkmate. It's kind of easy, I guess, like you would do this. Pretty easy, right? And I'm going to tell you how to checkmate with a rook now, which is a bit harder, but still very easy. Sorry. So you can. I use the fastest way, which is just box out the king and slowly bring your king forward. If they attack your rook, move it immediately, because if they capture, you can't checkmate with just a king, obviously. And now you can kind of follow. You can kind of like follow the black king, like this, like this. And now when they do opposition to you, you go checkmate. Opposition is, by the way, opposition. Here, black gains the opposition. Opposition is when it's sort of when a king is boxing out the other king. Since kings can't touch, it's kind of, opposition is very useful, especially in endgames, right? I know why you would bring your king forward and open your middle game, but in the end game you have to use your king. Your king has to be active so you win, right? Okay, and let's jump on. Actually, I'll teach you how to checkmate with two bishops next video, because it's a bit more advanced. So you can learn that for now. And goodbye. I'll see you on the next video.